Hello, welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time, the greatest show on earth. I am your medicated and unregulated host, Joshua Stonecutter, and I am exhausted. I've been up since about 5:30 this morning. I'm just going to talk about one subject today. I'm going to talk about the way this stuff makes me feel. All right, the way the stuff that's going on right now in every city in America, the stuff that's going on with me personally. I had to go back to Gainesville, my hometown today, and like, you guys, I get treated just like absolute garbage. I mean, I get treated like absolute garbage by everybody in my hometown. Everybody. I called this mechanic like days before and scheduled a time to come in because the mechanic, I'm getting messed with by these mechanics, you guys. The mechanic in Flagler County told me that I needed a new ball. I don't even remember what, man, like ball bearings or something like that for my wheels, which I just had done like a year ago. And he told me that something else was wrong. So then I brought it back to Gainesville to have the guy redo something that he had done a year ago. And he's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with the ball bearings or the whatever. He's like, I don't even know why that guy told you that. He's like, it looks like somebody pried one of the plates off or something. And this is the thing, you guys, is that whenever I go to see a mechanic, they know that the other mechanic I went to is also in the SS. Because let me tell you guys something. You are not allowed to have a successful business in Florida unless you're somehow doing the work of the snake. I'm serious, you guys. Like, you think that I'm kidding? You think that I'm exaggerating? I'm not. I'm not. So, like, I took my car and to get taken care of today, and the guy just like he just gaslights me and lies to me all day, and he'll like get ready to ring me up and then take like other customers in front of me and stuff. So like when I came in there, I knew I was going to be in there all day. And it's just the weirdest thing because like in my mind, I know that this is going to take all day because I know that this guy is going to F with me. And he's going to pretend like he's not. And this is the weirdest thing about it, you guys, is that these people are not capable of saying, "Hey, Josh, you know what? I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for, so I'm not going to serve you." Which, by the way, you're totally allowed to do in Florida. You're allowed to like refuse somebody's service for whatever the reason you want. You don't have to have a reason. Do you see? So like this, what I'm saying is like what they're doing is far worse than that. Like they're sitting there smiling in my face and telling me, no, 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 everything's fine. Oh, and by the way, if I mention anything about electronic surveillance or group stalking or anything like that, I just get the same like 4 or 5 responses. They literally have a script that they follow. They have a script of things that they are told to say. You guys, let me explain to you like what everything that I've discovered means to me. It means for me. You guys, I've never had a friend in my entire life. I've never once had an actual real friend. I've only had friends set up for me. You guys, even my best friend when I was like 1 or 2 years old, like they were getting me to do weird like stuff that you shouldn't have a kid doing, and then like and I don't ever remember leaving their house. Like I'm pretty sure they were tranquilizing me and stuff, but they were using like their son, my best friend, to like initiate the stuff, and then I would just fall asleep. So like I've never. This is like when I was 2 or 3. You guys, like it looks like I was just getting passed around from one family to the next. From like my parents were like loaning me out or something. You guys. And today when I was in Gainesville, I went walking around and I went by people's houses that I knew, and they got PED symbols on their doors and stuff, you guys. I don't know what else to say. Like, these are people that I know, and they have like PED symbols on their doors. And then when like I've tried to talk to people that I've known all my life about this, and I've just laid down the facts, very simple. Like, look, this person that we know has these symbols that are recognized by the FBI, like on their house and on their door. Like, what do you think about that? And then they just say peace and love, peace and love. That was literally the message they sent back to me was peace. It just said peace and love, peace and love. And I said, what are you talking about? You know, like this is serious. Like something happened to me when I was a kid, and I'm trying to talk about it. But the people who I'm going to talk to about it are people that were participating in it, it looks like. When I get messed with all day, like I did today. Oh, and also, you guys call me crazy, okay? But as I was leaving Gainesville, you can't make this stuff up, and this is why I started doing my show daily to get this stuff out because it's just that crazy. All right, as I'm leaving Gainesville, I I, I swear to you guys, I'm driving. I turn my brights on. Do you know what? I'm sitting there thinking in my head, I wonder if they're gonna like shove some deer out in front of my car because there's been two times recently where I've been driving like close to my house and like two deer or three deer come running out, but they're not deer in headlights. It's as if somebody was just like released them right there. Well, this evening the same thing happened, but this is the crazy thing. This is look, I'm not a prophet, all right, but obviously there's something about me because right before this happened, I thought to myself, what if deer run out in front of the road? What if they do that on purpose? Because I've been having this idea in my head that the last couple times I've almost hit deer that it wasn't an accident. That like because the deer that I almost hit looked all messed up, like they looked unhealthy. They looked like unhealthy deer that you would find in like a zoo or I don't even know what, their fur was all messed up. But like today when this happened, the deer came out from like where trailers were on like Highway 26 or something. I slammed on my brakes, didn't hit the deer, turned off all my lights, got off to the side of the road, and got out of my car and just started screaming. I know somebody did that because I could just feel it, man. It just everything was wrong about the situation. The deer came running from like way far away. They didn't even. It just. I grew up in the woods. I've been dealing with deer and cars and stuff like that my entire life. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just something that happened at the end of the day. But like, this stuff is supposed to, minus the deer thing, you know what I mean? Like all the things, all the interactions that I had in Gainesville today with people, they were just horrible, you guys. Like, it was, and like normally what I would do when I'm in town is I would stop by and like see my mom or like go and see my sister, stop by my church, see my pastor. Yo, these people won't even talk to me. And it's not because I'm acting crazy or doing anything crazy. This stuff is supposed to make me like do something regrettable. You know what I mean? It's supposed to make me like, oh, rage out. It doesn't. Let me tell you how this makes me feel. It just makes me feel sad. That's it. That's all. When I know that like these people are sitting there messing with me on purpose, and it's like it's not like you're being if you start getting targeted, you just start getting bullied by other adults. I don't really know how else to put it. You get bullied by people like every day, all day, and as of like it looks like 90%, 95% of my family is just they won't even talk to me now because I'm realizing the truth. That's why they won't talk to me because I'm realizing the truth. It just makes me sad, you guys. That's all. Because you have to understand, like, seeing what I see on a regular basis, these people in this group could do good things. The world would be a better place if they were doing good things. These people, and I'm talking about specifically people in the SS, so that means people that are like churchgoers, because like the majority of churchgoers are in the SS. I believe that the churches were used as cover to off people. Look, if you guys don't believe me, pretend to get involved in your local church, a local church, maybe get involved in 2 or 3, and tell them that you want to help them out and you want to start making phone calls for them to members and stuff to try to get the numbers back up at church. And watch them freak out. Because I believe that's what's going to happen. Because I think that is the cover that's been used. I think it's been like nursing homes and stuff like that, but mostly churches. the people that I've been turning to for help are the people that have been involved with this stuff. There's people who I went to for help my entire life. And I walked by their house today and they have PED symbols hanging on the door of their house. I just never noticed it before. This stuff's probably been staring me in my face my whole life, but nobody ever came along and said, hey, this symbol means this and this symbol means that. And you guys gotta believe me. Like, I work in politics. Like, they are the ones that are running everything. Nothing is being done. And all of, like, the whole QAnon thing, the targeted individual thing, and there's got to be other stuff too. It's just there to make us target ourselves, to make us targets. Because whether you want to believe me or not, it doesn't matter. This is the truth, you guys. It's all the cops and all the police forces, it's all the sheriffs, they all know about this, and they're either complacent in it or they're participating in it. And it's all the control is being done with the PED stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's how all the control goes down. That's how they blackmail people. That's how they coerce people. That's how they bribe people. I'll be honest with you guys. All of this stuff, like, I am, like, reasonably empathetic and understanding to, like, all of this stuff, except for doing the R word to babies part and the doing the R word to kids part. That's the part that just, it's like, how is that? I mean, you guys, how is that a necessary key in this dark plan? And look, anybody who's in the SS, anybody who's, like, representing the NWO, look, please speak up. All right. How is butt effing people part of the plan? How does that work in? Like, oh yes, and and also, just to let you know, we need to sodomize everybody. Just go ahead and start, marinating on that now. we gotta bungalow everybody. Everybody gets bungalowed. I honestly don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I'm like begging and praying for somebody to please come along and explain this to me. But the more I discover on my own, the more I realize that the people who would be coming to explain this stuff to me are the people who I've been unknowingly investigating this whole time. I was like, believe me, you guys, I've asked myself several times, why do I have this obsession with, like, this underground, like, PED stuff? Do you see what I'm saying? And, like, I even wondered myself, I'm like, what is the deal? And I'll be honest, look, 90% of the research that I've done on this topic, I didn't tell a soul about it. I didn't go around sharing people like, hey, this is, like, one of the things that I'm reading about on the internet and that I'm researching is the covering up of, like, elite PED rings. Why do you think my subconscious was driving me towards that? Crazy, right? You guys, look, I'm going to talk about this and then I'm going to end. This is something that they knew when I went into the Phoenix House. The Phoenix House, right? The CIA, like, it's a place where they are just testing out research chemicals on, like, drug addicts who are willingly doing it because they're, like, in rehab jail. It's like Department of Corrections. Then they have this little private pay group that I was a part of. But I digress. Oh man, what was I talking about? I got sidetracked to talking about the Phoenix House and stuff. Darn it, I am so tired, you guys. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about recovery, and how this, like, relates, to recovery. But or I was just going to talk about some recovery stuff, but I'm just gonna end the episode, you guys. Like, I don't want to say I'm in a bad mood. I just feel sad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know what else to say. You know, My my family saw this coming a mile away, and when I say this, I mean me discovering the truth about everything, or the enough of the truth. Do you see? Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to uncover any more trauma because like I've uncovered enough. Like, I just want some answers to some of these things, you know? And I really do feel like I deserve them. I really do feel like I deserve some answers. It's just, look, you sit me and any attorney down with my mother or my father, and we ask some questions and then recess and ask them questions and recess and ask them questions, we'll have them tripping and fumbling all over each other and contradicting each other and contradicting themselves and not making sense. But this is the thing, you guys. I don't think I'm even able to go find legal representation because I think every single lawyer has gone through some kind of fraternity or sorority, and they're in the SS. It's every single person that I've turned to for help. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Yeah, and I'm going to end with this because this is really important, okay? Look, when I went to the Phoenix house, they knew what happened to me when I was a kid. When I was going to church at Creekside, they knew what was going on with me. And the reason they knew is because I think that the elders and the deacons, they were all participating in it. But nobody at any point said to me, hey, you might have a substance abuse problem because, you know, it was suggested several times that I might have been a victim of some kind of sexual abuse. And it got to the point with me and my folks where I was like, okay, well, they did all this mind control stuff. They did all this weird, like, occult stuff, but there was no abuse, right? There was no sexual abuse. But this is my point, is that nobody at any point said, hey, Josh, you might have a horrible substance abuse problem because there's a chance that they've been giving you drugs since you were like 1 year old or 2 years old. Do you see? And it's like, why? And I know, okay, so I know they were giving me tranquilizers. What makes you think they stopped there? They were probably giving me hallucinogens. I wouldn't be surprised if they were microdosing me on mushrooms, you guys. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And that would go along a lot with just sort of my personality and the way I was growing up. It wouldn't surprise me in the least to find out that they were microdosing me with mushrooms or LSD or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me in the least, you guys. But like, of course, this was never offered as an explanation as to why I might have a substance abuse problem. I've wondered over the years, why do I have a substance abuse problem? And because everybody else was partying. It seemed the majority of people I met, they were partying, getting effed up to try to forget stuff that had happened to them, to try to forget stuff that had been going on or was going on. And I really didn't relate to that because I was partying to like remember, like, and to celebrate everything. But I always felt like, and I always said, I used to always say, I feel like I'm trying to get back to something. I feel like I'm trying to get back to something that I lost a long time ago. And I really didn't, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that it was my subconscious trying to remember the trauma of being like high when you're a kid or whatever. Because I still don't fully know what happened, but I know that I was being given tranquilizers or something. I had to have been. I had to have been. But nobody ever said being high is normal for you, Josh, because you've been getting high all your life. Your parents have been getting you effed up your whole life. And I think when I wasn't being tranquilized or being experimented on or intentionally given viruses, because I already know if I'm right, which I know I'm right, how it was going down. And this is tied in with the University of Florida. They were using mosquitoes. They were testing out how to give people viruses using mosquitoes. That's what they were doing. I know that that's what they were doing. I even watched over the years as the legs and the arms on the mosquitoes around our property went from just black mosquitoes to having white rings and white lines on them, which I found out years later is like a very common trademark of mosquitoes when they're being like genetically modified and stuff. You know, I don't think I'll ever see anything that even remotely looks like victims compensation or anything like that remotely looks like anybody even admitting they ever did anything wrong. But there's a few things I have going for me. One of the things is my authenticity. The other thing is I have the truth, you know? Like if I actually get people listening to me, like real people and not bots, real subscribers, then eventually we'll get a little group of people together and we will literally go dig one of these sites up where these portals are. And I'll show you guys, like, look, I don't know how far this goes down, but we'll find a concrete structure under the ground. I know where we can go dig and find them right now. I know where we can go dig and find underground concrete structures right now. I don't know what they are. I don't know what's in them. And I'm talking about here in Florida. You know, the targeting and me being treated like crap started when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Like, it goes on regardless. The targeting of me and me being persecuted and me being perpetrated upon, it goes on regardless of what I do and what I say. People always want to say it has something to do with something that I did, something somehow my fault. No. None of this is my fault at all. It is none of it. Absolutely not. None of it. And that is the narcissistic abuse just shining through to suggest that me being targeted is somehow a result of something that I have done. It is not a result of anything that I've done. This is the sins of my father and my father's father and probably his father before him. It looks like they're selling people in our country into absolute slavery. Literal slavery, sexual slavery. This is happening to children that I know of. And guess what? Guess what happens if I call Child Protective Services? Guess what happens to these kids, you know, who are like getting messed with by parents who went to the church I went to? But guess what happens if they get taken from the family? Then DCF gets them, and it's even worse because they're getting F'd and A with DCF 100%. So it's like, I don't even know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about it other than just express myself and talk about it. But I'm telling you, like, the people that are going crazy with these school shootings and doing all this other stuff, that is the result of gang stalking. That is the result of group stalking. That stuff is going on in every city in America right now. And a lot of times the parents are actually involved as well. Like, the parents of the school shooters are actually participating in driving their kid crazy to do this stuff. How do I know? Because it's happening to me. But guess what, you guys? I'm never going to do anything wild and crazy and violent. This stuff just makes me sad, man. It just makes me... It gives me a sadness, the likes of which a word... I do not have the words to, like, properly explain the sadness that this makes me feel. It is a level beyond depression. It is a level beyond depression. I can tell you that right now. It's not even depression. It's just unbelievably sad. You guys, just unbelievably sad that people would do this to other people. The fact that people would do this to other people and treat other people in the manner that I get treated on a daily basis is just, it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And we're not talking about random encounters with people in Walmart and stuff like that. We're talking about people who knew I was coming to Gainesville today. We're talking about people that knew I was leaving Gainesville today. I'm not even going to sit here and get into all the comments and everything. I had somebody I had a Freemason. It had to have been a Freemason because only a Freemason would do something, only a Freemason would have a Johnson so small and have an ego so effed up that they would need to do something like this. As I'm trying to check out at a business, he walks in and puts his wallet down and puts a gun down right in front of me and sits there and angles his phone at me with his camera. This is just one of like 20 things that happened to me today. How desperate, I'm serious, like how desperate for attention and just whatever do you have to be? I mean, these people, like, I can see now why they all looked up to my father. I can see now why they all respected my father and were scared of my father. Because they're idiots. It's because they're freaking idiots. These people are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. They are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. They are the followers. They do what they're told. And they're not making decisions for themselves. They're out doing the work of other people. So maybe that's the price I pay for being like about as free as you can get in this country. Maybe that's the price I pay for being about as free as you could get in this country. You know, I don't know. I say BS, man. I say BS. Because I'm never going to do something violent. I'm never going to do something like some of these other people are doing. But the information I have is solid. All right? And if anybody wants to come on down to Florida, come on down, you know? Let's raise a ruckus. All right, you guys, I'm going to peace out. Thanks for watching. I love you guys.